Thanks, Chris. Well, today is the kickoff of the annual homelessness count, and it starts at 10 a.m. I'm here with LaToya Cutts, Director of the Department of Community and Economic Development, and David Blackwell, the Chairman of the Albany-Doherty Coalition to End Homelessness. And they've got some exciting things to talk about this morning. But first, we want to know what this kickoff of the week-long count for homelessness is.
Well, today at 10 a.m. Down at the Government Center downtown on Pine Avenue will be the actual kickoff event. It's a twofold event. We're kicking off Albany's first ever 10-year plan to reduce homelessness by 2023, as well as the count that begins a few days from now. And it's just trying to bring community organizations that serve and citizens of concern to come together as we rally to begin this event.
And you told us that homelessness is not maybe what we're all thinking, what you typically think of. Can you explain?
Yeah, I mean, everybody, when you use the word homeless, an image comes to mind. But, you know, the definitions go beyond that and meet other requirements of that. The HUD gives us a definition of the precariously housed, and that is families that have had to move in with one another because of loss of job or loss of income or any of those situations. So there's that populace of our community is another that we need to identify and have the capability to survey.
How do you actually do this survey and get people to come to however it works, if they come in or you go to them?
Actually, the Department of Community Affairs is going to, they're kind of responsible for the surveys, and they work with us. And the Homeless Coalition in the city of Albany is actually the organization that is going to rally around getting those organizations who are willing to, I guess, kind of to volunteer to come out. And they're going to have a training session on this afternoon at 6 o'clock. So anyone who's interested in learning how to do the survey, they're going to actually train us how to do the survey. But it's not a very lengthy survey. They're very pertinent questions that they want us to ask, but it doesn't have a name. You don't have to put your name on there, but you do have to put in initials. But it does have that information, but they're going to train everyone who's interested. And we're really hoping that anyone who wants to participate will come out this afternoon and get that training and volunteer for next week's count.
All right, fantastic. We're going to be back in just a little bit, and I'm excited to hear about this 10-year plan to end homelessness. Stick around to hear more about that. We'll return in just a few moments. At 10 a.m., this is LaToya Cutts and David Blackwell, and the Albany-Doherty Coalition to End Homelessness has come up with a 10-year plan on how to end homelessness in our community, and I'm very excited to hear some of the steps that you guys are taking.
Yeah, and LaToya could address a lot of that better, but we worked for about 19 months developing the plan, and it was volunteers or members of the coalition that came together to develop that along with support of city staff, and we developed a list of short, midterm and long-term goals to address those things, all the way from building awareness, which starts really with us today, to a long-term goal of addressing the issue of temporary and emergency housing for the homeless in our community.
Can you address a couple more of those?
I think the main ones that David hit on, the building awareness is the key one, and getting those organizations who are actually working with the homeless population to work together. Because really, you know, some of them are addressing those issues separately, and you really want those organizations to begin to collaborate more and to come together. And one way to do that is for them to join the coalition and to work with the coalition on this 10-year homeless plan. So building awareness, as David said, is key, and today is a big part of that. So the more people we can get to come out to today's event, to come out to the Government Center, to be a part of today's kickoff, but then to learn a lot of the information that David wanted to share as far as the past homeless numbers, to see what the previous homeless counts have been like, and to see why it's so important to get them involved, because the past years of homeless count numbers have not been representative of the homeless that are in our community. And we really need to do a better job of, number one, making sure that we understand how many people that are here that are homeless, and then how do we work together to address those needs, and then understanding what are the needs, and then working together to address those in the long term. So short-term, mid-term, long-term goals, but then most of all working together to be able to address those.
Okay. And David, can you share some of those numbers with us?
Sure. Our last count was in 2011, and we identified 699 by survey. But we know, as LaToya said, we are severely undercounted. In 2013, in the state of Georgia, nearly 100,000 people will be homeless at some point during the year, and of that, 23,000 of those are children. Now, bring that into Doherty County. We know for a fact that there are 800 children in the Doherty County school system that are homeless, and there are at least one caregiver that's with one of those child, so that's up to 1,600. So we know our numbers here are 2,000 to 3,000, if not more. And getting the surveys complete and identifying them is critical for the community, because of any federal funds that may be available to service and provide services. So much of it is tied to the numbers that we're to identify.
Well, we sure appreciate you coming on today to talk with us about this, and we really look forward to seeing the progress it makes. If you guys would like more information, contact the Albany-Doherty Coalition to End Homelessness. Make sure to stick around. The buzz is coming up next to keep you in tune with all that's happening in the world of entertainment. Stick around.